step into the spotlight, it's the Dynasty team. Brian B. Money making all the dreams gleam. Carl Smitty Smith, watch him rise in the scene. Together they ignite, it's the ultimate scheme. Hold on tight, feel the hype, we're just getting started. Dynasty's BBS show, we're climbing to the peak. B Money and Smitty, every episode unique. Confidence high, yeah, we never stay weak. Tune in with us, learn the craft and technique.
If you want help navigating this rookie class, from two hosts I'll surely make you laugh. Just search our name and we'll be there. If you want to properly rebuild or truly contend, if you want to identify some NFL trends, just search our name and we'll be there. We'll be there. Oh, we'll be there. Just type in the Dynasty BS show in YouTube or wherever you can find a podcast and you'll be there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need help with anything, if you want advice on anything, just search our name and we'll be there. How are you doing, Brian?
Bro, I'm good, man. It is May 9th. I can't believe it's May 9th. We're getting to the exciting but yet boring time of fantasy football where things are happening, but we still got to wait to see and call our shots. But man, I like the intro. So I originally thought you were doing the Mariah Carey one. I was like, man, I love my divas. And then I realized you probably saw the Michael Jackson movie and you're like, I got to put some MJ in here, huh?
I had to do it.
How was the movie? I'm going to see it tonight.
You know what? Depends on how much you know about Michael, because if you know a lot, you're going to be disappointed. But if you didn't know too much and all you knew was the music, then you'll be satisfied. And if you are looking for something specific, and you know what I mean, if you're looking for that, you will be highly disappointed.
I heard there's a second one for that they're thinking about making, though.
Okay,
but no spoilers. I haven't even seen it.
That'd be wild.
Pretty wild, man. But Smitty, we in the house here. It's like I said, it's May 9th. Dude, how about that hype video we just put on here? That's our new opener. How do you like that? Are you hyped about that? Looking like a pro pod.
If I were you guys, I would play that over again, then get to the content, because that's how you kick a pod off.
That whistling gets me, man. Gets in my head. I like it, dude. All right, let's get into this bad boy. Your doc today, your news you want to talk about. Let's talk about a little Steph Diggs here, found not guilty for all the stuff he's doing. You know what? So what I like about Steph, look, we've talked about Steph over the last 3 years, and I think the comment that you made that I agree with, that every teammate doesn't want to leave him alone with their wife. That's like what teammates literally have said about him. But take this character out, because the NFL does not care about character any longer whatsoever. There's just people doing stupid things. But Steph said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, once this all cleared up, he's like, look, all I do on the field is produce. I'm ready to play. I'm in. Do you think the Patriots should re-sign him?
To be honest with you, I feel like they kind of replaced him with Dobbs already, which is why I think he won't be signed there. So I'm just kind of moving forward thinking in free agency, someone's going to use him as a 2 or a 3. But I think they replaced him with Dobbs, honestly. And good for Dobbs. He deserves to be replacing one of these great vets.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting on my GM hat here for the Patriots. And my thought process is, look, there's a lot of talk about A.J. Brown. Like, we are all penciling in A.J. Brown after whatever, I think it's June 1st or whatever that deadline is, to be on the Patriots. And we're all expecting, with Ian Rappaport, with all of them, they're saying that New England's willing to give up a first-round pick. Now, even if it's a second-round pick next year, here's my thoughts. I think this team for the Patriots is good enough to start competing and run really well right now. I think Steph Diggs is a perfect dude to just put back there. You know what? You've got Booty, you got Boutte, sorry. Then you got Dobbs and you got Diggs. You got Hunter Henry, you've got the running backs, and you got Drake May. That's good enough to go into the season for me. And then realize that if this draft class next year is the best draft class ever, which is what people are saying. The NFL even told us that during this draft class, Smitty, because we didn't see any first-round picks next year traded to move up in this draft, which is unusual. So everybody's saying how good this draft class is. I guarantee you before the trade deadline, there is a team with a wide receiver on it that will be healthy that they can trade a first round pick to go get for their playoff run. I don't think they need AJ Brown. And I also think AJ Brown's declining.
Okay, to be honest with you, yeah, I actually don't even think. I mean, okay, first off, I agree that they should not spend a first on AJ Brown. I think that's a little ridiculous considering all the hype that's coming out from this class. But AJ is a sincere, great addition to any wide receiver core. And the Patriots, if they really did want to spend that first on a receiver, there are plenty of other options they can go. There are during the season. I think that's the best idea for them. Um, I just genuinely feel like they replaced Diggs already, so I just can't see him coming back. It would make sense. He already knows the system. I mean, all I can do on that system is improve and help out Drake May some more. So it makes sense, but I just think the Dobbs signing was too telling. Um, well, shoot, if there is a world where AJ Brown is, do you think there's a world where he's still a Philadelphia Eagle coming into this season? Like, is that over with? Do you think?
So I've been saying it's over for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe AJ Brown's back because they got to have a scapegoat. Like there's so much drama going on there. Like everyone's pointing fingers at everybody around there. Someone's got to go. And I do believe it's AJ, but I just don't know if I'm willing to trade a 2027 first at this point in time for that player. And I also understand, Smitty, like trading for a player at the trade deadline, they have to learn your offense. They have to get a connection with your QB. So I realize there's some problems with that, but man, they could have easily put Juwan Johnson in here. Like, they could have put a lot. And I do think they need another wide receiver. I do. I just think Steph is a pretty good fit to run it back this year, taking all of his character and everything out just as the player. Man, it's interesting. Next year's draft. I don't know, man. Something happened with AJ Brown last year.
Mhm.
Something happened. And I watched a lot of film. I talked about this probably 2 months ago, but Jalen Hurts refused to throw into contested catches the way he did the first 3 years with AJ Brown, or 2 years, however many years he had him. And that just stopped. And I think it was because I think AJ lost a little bit of a step and didn't have a little bit more opening, but I don't know. I don't think the Patriots want to make the same mistake the Bills have made the last 2 years and consistently not add the wide receiver when everybody says you need a wide receiver. I do know that that's their fear right now. But I just don't think they should give up first, Smitty. I don't. But if Steph doesn't play there, where does he play?
Okay, well, I'm gonna just say it right now because I'm sick and tired of it not happening, and I feel like they didn't, even though they addressed it in the draft, they didn't fully go there, and that's the Baltimore Ravens, honestly. They did address the position in the draft, but let's just be honest, Steph Diggs would be a freaking nice little friend for Lamar Jackson, dude. I really love that idea.
It's a good fit. Super Bowl ready team. I don't see Steph signing for a team that's not a contender.
Exactly.
It's a good fit, dude. Good fit. They still might need someone up in Seattle. They really might.
Yeah, true.
But they got Cup playing that role, I guess, as the veteran up there. I like going to Lamar. Give Lamar some weapons.
Yeah, they got that. Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna go over there at all. But I mean, honestly, a team missed out on the Juwan Jennings sweepstakes, so maybe Commanders can give him a shot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where they're at. We'll see how they do in the first few games, which I think will be smashes, but we'll see.
From a dynasty standpoint of fantasy football, if he ends up signing with the Miami Dolphins, I will move him up my rankings for next year because there's no competition for him. But he's also declined. But let's talk about that boy, Juwan Jennings, out there, man. Signing up there to be wide receiver 3 for K1 up in an O'Connell offense. They're now going Jettas, Addison, Juwan. We got K1 slash K1 as the QBs. Running backs old. They got Claiborne as the rookie. I mean, talk to me about this signing. This one kind of surprised me, but not really at the same point. Like, I don't know if that sleeper post was real, but this is the only team he actually really was serious about. He literally only interviewed with this team. He had talked to a few others, but he only actually met with the Vikings. So O'Connell's got a plan for him.
Okay, well, I hate to do this because I love Addison. I bet my whole season on that man. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But I will say this. Juwan Jennings might be wide receiver 2 in that team. This blew me away. I was like, this is kind of nice. This is great. I love what Aston does, and as a deep threat, when he gets into those moments, he'll shine, honestly. But Juwan Jennings, that is freaking perfect for Kyler, right? Like a big target like him, dude. That's incredible. I mean, McCarthy would love that. JJ would have loved that, you know. So I love this fitting. I think I'm gonna keep him where assume okay. If he was to have been playing in the Niners, like where he was on the rankings then, I'm gonna kind of keep him exactly there. Maybe a little higher. So if that was I'm just throwing out a number. If he was wide receiver 17 in my rankings before the season last year, I might have him 15 here. Just throwing out a number. Just saying that this isn't changing too much. I'm just saying like he's a good player in a good system, and I love it.
Best ball type player for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wide receiver 3 on a team, but he's probably one of the better wide receiver 3s in the game. Spot starter. I might see if I could pivot off of him for some draft capital next year. And I had some witty trades come through for my Juwan Jennings shares today for 2027 thirds.
Really?
I was like, okay, that's pretty witty. I'm thinking about taking those. I just haven't got a chance to really look at them too deep. But I like this, man. I think this is great. K1's a mobile quarterback. He's going to get out of the pocket. And guess what? Mobile quarterbacks, when they get out of the pocket, do they either run or they throw to someone that's literally been running for 5 seconds, 6 seconds, getting away from somebody. So I think K1, this is great for him. I didn't even mention TJ Hawkinson in that scenario, but he's got weapons all over the field when he's outside that pocket to find that open receiver. I think this is fantastic, man. Does this move K1 up my board? No, but I've already had K1 as my dark horse preseason. I'm not officially penciling it in until before the season, but I have the possibility of a MVP year for K1. I really do. Minimum comeback player of the year.
Okay, well, as I was so I was trying to speak on that big board thing. So if I was slightly move up Juwan, I'm for sure moving up K1. This is crazy, dude. I'm really getting excited for this offense. I really am, and I'm a shootout top 10 right now. But if I seriously think about it, he could probably actually end up in the 7 range. This is for fantasy football purposes.
I might try to find a team that's discounting Jettas. Jettas already is discounted going into this year after last year. You're not he's not wide receiver 2, he's not wide receiver 3. You're buying him in startups. But maybe someone doesn't like this news, and maybe we can get Jettas just a little cheaper. If anyone is worried about Jettas, they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. And here's why I say, and I will give you credit. You did say Jettas would have a down year last year in the offseason. I didn't listen to you. But the reality is every player is going to have a down year at some point in his career. Nobody is Mike Evans. Nobody is going out there getting 1,000 receiving yards for 13 straight seasons. I think it ended last year. It was 12, 13. I don't know. Nobody does that. They're all going to have a down year. Injuries are going to happen. QB play is going to suck some years. Coaches change. I'm not worried about Jettas, man. He is a generational talent. I still have him penciled in as one of those top 3 guys, at least for wide receiver.
Okay. I feel confident about Jettas for sure. Yeah, honestly, it's really him or Chase, and I got Chase at number 1 still. I just feel really good about what that offense has been doing lately. I mean, what that team has been doing lately. So I'm gonna put him at 2 though. Jettas at 2. I'm super okay with that. If there's any discount in Jettas, yeah, now's the time. But I don't know. I don't think I see any.
So here's rankings that keep trade cut right now.
Oh yes,
Chase 1, JSN 2, Puka 3.
Shout out to JSN.
Neighbors
shout out to
4.
Puka. Oh, shout out to Neighbors. Is JJ really 5?
JJ's 5. And I look at this.
That's false.
And just here's everything I want to say. All right. If we're going to knock a player for bad QB play and a bad year, why has JSN not been knocked for his first 2 years in the league? So he has that pop-off year. Perfect.
1.
JSN is not done what JJ's done in the first part of his career. He had 1 down year, and this is year 5, I think, for him.
Mm-hmm.
it's just wild to me. Like I do have Puka. I probably have Puka above JJ. And part of the reason is that is dude, Puka's just a beast. Like it's just he's just a monster. And he still has staff. So that's why I've got him above there, but JJ 3 period. So who would you if we take a look at this? So let me read some names.
Yep.
Would you want to work Tet into JJ? Tet is ranked as wide receiver 9.
Oh,
Drake London is ranked as wide receiver 8. Um, George Pickens is wide receiver 11. Egbuka is wide receiver 10. Like these guys you can get into JJ right now with.
bro,
Would you do that?
I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying. And honestly, if this is overhyped, let it be. I mean, or just, okay, I'll learn from it later. But as of right now, I would, no joke, give up Drake London and a 2027 first for Jettas and a 2027 second. I have zero idea how that will go off. All right, well, what would you prefer in that end?
I prefer the Jetta side, but I
Oh,
guarantee you there's a lot of managers that will prefer the London side.
oh, okay, yeah.
2027 first are hot right now. And I'm going to talk about that when we break down this best ball draft, but I got to tell you, man, like I don't know if first round draft picks this time, sorry, let's say 3 weeks before next year's draft will actually be worth as much as they are now. We are already past it. We can get
Ooh,
all the hype we want to get pre-draft, combine, and all that. It's all built in there right now, like
it
right
really
now.
is.
So people want 27 first. Like it's very hard to obtain one right now. For me to get a 27 first, I have to work and give up less than I want to get back to get that. But that trade, when I do it that way, it's about the liquidity side of that trade when I need that first in the middle of the year. Most managers don't play like that. I do. So I will take less to put myself in a better position in week 8, 9, 10 when I need it. But I think you could easily get a deal like that. I think you could take Ted in that first and get JJ. I think you
Yes.
take Drake. I think you take CD in that scenario. I think you could take Ibuka in that scenario and go get Jettas. I really do. And if you have 2 firsts laying around, that's a perfect going into the season use of that first. So you still have the other one banked. So dude, you can get into him here. Try doing that trade for JSN, Jamar Chase, or Puka right now. It's not getting
Uh,
done.
Probably not for Chase. I really feel like Puka has kind of lowered his stock a bit this season. And if anything, I would say Puka may have lowered it because he proves that he gets hurt, right? But I don't know. So I don't know if I'm personally putting Puka in the top 3. Love the kid, of course, one in my heart, but I feel safer with Jettas, frankly.
When are people going to learn that Drake London is who he is?
Yeah, dude, I literally had to learn that this season. I literally learned that this season. It took a while, right? Like, how many years has he been in the league? 3, 4? Finally accepted that. So it's about
It's a
time.
lot, dude.
It's about
I,
time.
I think 4, dude.
It took me 4 years.
I know it's been 3, but it might be 4. He might be going into his 5th year. But I would love to trade Drake into a generational talent.
Mm.
Obviously some of these trades, work differently depending on roster construction and starters, but definitely want to look into that. All right, let's jump off these Vikings. Let's get into the Jets, man. They gave that extension to Breeze finally. I think the Jets are in a really good spot here. They got plenty of first round draft capital and just plenty of draft capital, period, moving forward. They're going to have their salary cap in check moving into next year. They got the receiver, they got their running backs, their defense is okay. Man, I got to tell
On
you,
the
like,
rise.
I think this is going to be the year we look back and we're like, man, the Jets don't have that high of a pick next year. And I'm not claiming they're going to be a playoff team here. Don't get me wrong; they're in a really tough division. But I think Gino's going to run this offense just fine, dude. Like, just fine.
Oh yeah, if I was Gino, I'd be happy because the situation is a lot nicer in that area. Dude, talking about Breeze right now, like in a dynasty perspective, first off, I am actually okay with withholding Brees because if they do get that upgraded quarterback next year, which we kind of assume, that quarterback's going to use the ever loving heck out of Brees. I honestly like, and I mean, there's also Sadiq and Cooper. I mean, honestly, any Jets player, even Cooper, even Sadiq, especially Garrett Wilson, all these players, if you just hold them right now, they will explode in 2027.
I would like to make a long-term water bet with you, and I'm going to need you to mark this
Ooh.
down and keep track of this because I think you will take this 100%.
Okay. Okay,
I
got
would
it
like
right
to
now.
water bet you that whoever the QB is of the New York Jets next year scores less fantasy points than Geno
Benji.
Smith does this year, as long as Geno stays healthy all year.
So,
I'm
yep.
not convinced that Geno's not the quarterback next year.
So I gotta be honest, I am instantly saying let's definitely do this. But I actually see where you're coming from, considering the fact that this kid coming in is gonna be a rookie. And I definitely appreciate Gino's situation here more than it was in Las Vegas. However, the Jets have so many picks to where they can get the number one quarterback in the class if they wanted to, and with that being the possibility, I will accept this water bet.
So Geno right now is 35 years old.
Oh, younger
Seemed
than
old
Stafford.
5 years ago. Seems like a few more years left for me. I mean, we've had a lot of QBs play old in this non-physical game. But actually, I've got another thing that I've been thinking about because I'm not also convinced, Smitty,
Hmm.
that Jacoby Brissett is also not going to be the starting quarterback of the Cardinals next year.
Well, hold on,
So
you're riding off back,
let
huh?
me break this down. Okay. I understand the generational draft class. Geno's 35. Has anybody paid attention that Jacoby's only 33 years old? Like, has
No.
anybody paid it? Like, this man seems like he's 40, doesn't he?
He definitely seems older than Gino, which is crazy.
Right? Like, there's a legitimate chance that Jacoby could sling the ball for the next 2, 3 years. Like, we just watched the NFL completely change. They went into 12, 13 personnel and just threw tight ends on the field. We just saw a QB that is not an elite talent win a Super Bowl. He's just a good QB and understands how to run an offense and read defenses. That's exactly what Jacoby does. So I'm not convinced, man. Like, what if Jacoby goes and lights it up and throws for 35 touchdowns and 4,500 yards? Like, in this offense, why couldn't he do that? He almost did it last year.
To be honest, if that's the case, then I'm sorry, K1, but I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna take comeback player of the year away from K1 if that's the case, dude. And by the way, I can see it.
He
I
won't get
really
it though
can.
because he played last year. You got to have someone that was injured for player of the year, coming off injury.
Oh,
Like, sorry, not player, comeback is what I said. Comeback player of the year.
okay. I guess I was thinking like most improved or something. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Damn, that's fire.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just really rethinking this whole QB landscape. There's so many good QBs in here. We're going to get into a point like, look, if we got a high draft pick, then this point is irrelevant. We're drafting the QB because Geno sucked. But what if Geno goes out and wins 10, 11 games for us this year? What if we are fringe on the playoffs or like right in that range? You look at that and you're like, all right, I got the 16th, 17th pick of the draft. Like, fuck this. Like, I'm not getting the QB I want. And you're like, all right, cool. Well, let's just add some players. We have more money in free agency than any other team next year. So there's a lot. All right, I got to jump off the Cardinals talk. We do that a little too much. Any other news before I get into some dynasty startups here?
No, I'm just happy for Brees. And, he can no longer complain about other people leaving because he signed a contract that'll keep him there. So very excited for him, very happy for him, and I just feel good about him long term.
I want to make one more point on Brees and the Jets, and it's what the fantasy footballers talked about yesterday. 25% of teams that are under 500 end up being over 500 next year, and they surprise
Ooh,
us. That was an interesting stat that I heard from them. I think the Jets fit the mold, which
yeah,
also means they're going to score more touchdowns, which means Brees is more valuable. I've been down on Brees for a while. I think I have one Brees Hall share in all of
same,
my portfolios.
just one.
He was drafted too high for me. I don't draft running backs usually that high, but I feel really good. And even for the Jets, even if Brees goes down, sign me up on Braylon Allen like all day. Like, he is one of my favorite handcuffs in the world right now to own is Braylon Allen. Even if he doesn't get 20 touches a game, if he gets all the goal line work, holy shit, it's on. All right, let's get into some dynasty startups. So,
Yes.
Smitty, after we got off the last pod, man, I joined a new Dynasty startup.
All
Kind of a
right.
cool little league. Let me, I forget the name of it. Let me pull it up. My boy X Telly out there sent me a invite. He does a lot of best ball leagues. And he sent me this when I joined paid, thought it was a best ball, realized it's a best ball dynasty. And it was
Oh,
4 years paid out in advance. So I was like, all right, cool. I can handle that. Give me 2 seconds.
wait, 4 years. That's revolutionary to me. 4 years. That's damn. It's pretty badass.
I enjoyed it. But this league, all right, premium collection. There's a whole AI description of this thing that they make sound like it's for the greatest people in the world, the most smartest people in the world, all this stuff. So I love that.
Congratulations.
That's Claude background media. There, sleeper. All right, so X Telly and Premium Collection. We're going to give a little bit of a breakdown on our draft here. So let's break down the format here. This is a start 11, 2 RB, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, super flex. We have best ball format. We have 1 PPR, standard scoring for running backs, 6 point for passing touchdowns, 1 point negative for interceptions, I believe. 1 or 2. I think this one's only 1. And then you only have a 0.5 point tight end premium. So Smitty, you know me, I'm analytic. I'm going to play to the format. You're going to see me build incredible tight end rooms in some formats. You're going to see me build the worst tight end rooms you've ever seen in other formats. I went into this draft. It was simple. By the way, there was a 1 hour clock on this draft, so it was hard to get trades done. But I went into this draft, sir, and I said, I don't care about the tight end. I don't care. It is the least important position of this entire squad, especially in a start 11. So I decided I was going to give up my tight end space and just lose in that spot every single week unless I have some backup tight ends score a couple touchdowns. And I build around everywhere else. So Smitty, man, this is what I did, dude. I was on the 101. You talked to me about this trade because in a vacuum, this trade doesn't look good if I just put players' names next to here. But in a startup where I can control what I want from my construction, it worked out perfect. So I tried to get as many picks as I could, consolidate up in that first like 10 rounds was my goal and pick up some extra capital. So I took the 101 and I traded it. Josh Allen was sitting right there for me in this format. Mr. QB1, 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 doesn't matter, QB1. I traded him for the 201 and the 601. Talk to me about that because there's a lot of people that will put names to that right now and say that I'm an idiot. So that would have been just technically in this draft, T. Higgins and Caleb Williams for Josh Allen, just in theory.
I mean, okay, if we're putting names to it, I don't think it's disgusting, honestly. Um, Actually, I think those are two long-term starters versus one. I mean, I really don't dislike this if we're just attaching names to be honest. Like I have nothing bad to say really. I mean, I understand like maybe people would want the world for Josh Allen, but realistically it's not really happening.
Strictly process, 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 process. When the day's done, I probably want more for Josh Allen, but in a best ball format, dude, I'm in. I picked up an extra pick in a best ball format with a start 11, and I picked
Hmm.
up a starting asset. So I was
I'm
happy
really
with
not
that.
mad at this.
But I wasn't done, Smitty. I wasn't done. I took that 201 and I liquidated down as well. Let me pull up that trade real quick. Let's go. I took the 201 and the 1012 and I traded it to consolidate down. I grabbed a 307, the 606, and a 2027 second. This is the one on paper I don't like as much as the other one, but I wanted the extra asset and I want to consolidate my 10th up to a 6th. So in theory, this is why the names on air just don't matter. In theory, I traded Caleb Williams and Mike Evans. Actually, let's put a different name in there. Let's put Michael Pittman, Matthew Golden, right in that
Yeah, that
range
range. Yeah.
for Trevor Lawrence and the 606. Where are we? And Marvin
Um,
Harris. So I went Trevor Lawrence for those other compilation of players, but I got that second back next year, which is going to be very helpful for me mid-season.
There might as well. Okay, so honestly, again, on paper, don't mind that at all. I, I really don't see an issue. I think you're kind of killing it, dude. Like, if you have to
So,
trade out, this is something I would like. Yeah.
so would you have made those moves? Like you're on the clock. We play much differently. Like if we can go back to we got to redo the crack commandments of fantasy. We haven't done that one in the off season. We do it
Oh
every
yeah.
year.
Oh, we're doing that for
But
sure.
one of your crack commandments, and I think it's your 101, is cornerstone player at a position. So that's Josh Allen for you. That's Josh Allen, man. I want the cornerstone player. And then if you get Josh, you'll fake QB later. But are you making that trade to pivot out of Josh Allen? Or are you taking your cornerstone QB number one?
Okay, so okay, in a best ball dynasty startup, I am very okay with turning the 101 into more assets because at the end of the day, you just want more people that can score the most, not just one guy that scores a lot. So I would honestly consider it. Like if I was getting some offers in, yeah, I would entertain them and see if I can do what you did. But if I wasn't getting any offers at all, yeah, I would be happy to go ahead and stamp Josh Allen at 101. So more than likely, I'd stamp Josh at the 101 and keep it going. But I don't know. I don't mind trading him out to get more players that'll score more for me. I really like
So
that, honestly.
I had to work, Smitty. I had to work in this one. There's an hour clock, so I had to start sending out trades long before I was on the clock. I
Okay,
didn't get
then
trade
I would not
offers
have done
coming
it.
in this league.
I would
Yeah,
not have done it
trade
then.
offers don't come in this league with an hour clock. I had to work for every one of these friggin' trades, dude. Like for me to trade that Josh Allen pick, it took me probably 20 offers sending out. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I took what I could get to get the extra player in this draft. And I just did it. It was just strictly process. Now, Smitty, I will tell you that these first 2 or 3 rounds for me and these first trades I did, it doesn't matter if I'm in best ball or if I'm in lineup league for start 11. I do both of those trades in that format,
Okay.
100%. If this was a start 10 lineup league, I'm not going to do that trade. I would much rather the stud hammer cornerstone QB1 in my lineup
Is that
than
it?
trying to get
Get
that
him.
extra pick.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that changed a little bit. Now, I did one more trade. There's only been like 5 trades in this league, and I've done 3 of them in this draft. The
Shout
other
out.
trade I did, which my crack commandments in fantasy football, in a startup draft, I will always leave with somebody else's first. And sometimes I cannot get what I want for that first, but I will get that because I like my liquidity to build into this. And I did not build a punt first year team in this one. But next trade I did is I sent my 212 and the 301, and I love being on those turns and packaging picks. So 212, 301, and my 1501 for the 406, 507, 1006, and this is how I obtained the first round draft pick next year for this side.
To be very honest with you, that might be my favorite trade because like around the 10th, who are we talking about? Like Michael Pittman and them. Honestly, it's a icky. It seems like an icky tier, but in best ball dynasty, I don't mind that at all, especially in best ball. So I think that's my favorite trade actually. And you got the first, and you got the first.
Yep. So
That's
here's the
what's
trade I
kind of
actually
wild.
broke down.
Hmm.
Mendoza,
Oh,
Colston Loveland,
oh,
and Aaron Rodgers for
oh yeah. Bye.
Kenneth Walker,
Dub,
Roma Doomsday,
dub.
Wandell Robinson,
Yeah,
and a first.
bro. I'm sorry. Even on paper, you smashed that.
Those are
Like,
2 very impactful trades for me, dude. Very impactful trades for me. From that
I,
moment,
you smashed.
Smitty, from that moment, once I did those trades, I realized every once in a while I make a startup mistake and I trade one too many times back. I always make that mistake. Once I got those 3 done, I said, I'm set right now unless I have offers coming in. I stopped working. So I like my squad, man, but check this out. This is my squad. And by the way, I'm just going to recap these first rounds for everybody here. So here's how the board went first round in a startup best ball start 11. Josh Allen, Bijan, Puka, Drake May, Jamar Chase, Jameer Gibbs, Brock Bowers, JSN, Jaden Daniels, Sun God, Genty, McBride were the first round. Here's what I don't get. If this was a lineup league, I like Bowers and McBride up there. In a best ball league, look, I just don't care about the position that's not valued as much. And I understand these are wide receivers. I understand Trey just set the all-time best season ever for a tight end and receptions and everything. But I look at this, I just rather have the receivers in here. Like, I just rather have the receivers. And I just rather just collect tight ends at the end. I went a little deeper in a zero tight end than I wanted to. The last guy I wanted, I got sniped in a round, and then I just had to go zero tight end. I drafted my first tight end in round 21, Smitty. Round 21.
Bro, that's like old school Smitty right there. Just punt that tight end to the hell. But wow, I think you. Who was that guy? Who was your first drafted tight end?
My first drafted tight end, I believe, was Jolie. It was
Oscar
Delp. And then I drafted Jolie right next to him on the turn.
Great.
So those are my two tight ends. But I'm telling you,
sorry. That's holy shit.
That's impressive. Here's what I decided. And this is my analytical side of it. When I'm building best ball teams, I'm sick of the player getting me 0 points on my bench. I'm sick of not having a fight to get into my lineup. So those backup QBs that I've been building on for a while, they're amazing when they get in. But I built a 4 QB roster in here, picking up Geno. So Geno was my QB room. I went Trevor Lawrence. I went CJ Stroud and Kyler Murray as my core. And then I put in Geno with my 13th pick. So now I got 4 starting QBs. I can move one of them midseason if I need be, if I need picks, if I need liquidity, I can do that. But I built that there and said, you know what? I don't need any backup QBs. I don't want those zeros in my roster. Like, I just don't. So I just started putting players that are actually going to give me points every single week in this squad. And so far, my lineup looks like this. It is T-Law, Kenneth Walker, Kyle Monangai, Egbuka, Rome, T. Higgins. I got Delp in my tight end. But I also have Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas Jr., David Montgomery, C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray, Wan'Dale Robinson, Josh Downs. We've got the McRib special, Jalen McMillan, Geno. Then I started adding in all my backup RBs in here, Braylon Allen, Brian Robinson, Jaden Blue. I stacked up Jalen Noel as a wide receiver 3, added Keon Coleman because I'll have a couple spike weeks in there and get in my lineup. And then I went Max Clare, dude. Sorry, I did not go Jolie. I went Max Clare.
Oh, well, Max Clare was drafted before Jolie, so that might mean something. I don't know. You know, can I be honest? Max Clare is literally a player I would only want in best ball. Now, yes, I did draft him in a couple rookie drafts just because I can't resist the LAR, but I don't know, man. The fight for him to get in the official lineup is tough. Is Jatavian Sanders still on the block? I mean, it's not on the block, still in the pool?
He is. Yes.
Oh my God! Look. Okay, please. If you're gonna get any Rams tight end, you got to get Colby. Got to get Colby Cheese, man.
Dude. I probably will. I probably will end up with him. Like, literally,
he will be your tight end one.
So I've got my core here, and I'm telling you, this is why I'm building all these probably 6 tight ends at the end. Like, between the 2 I have, like Sanders, Parkinson, Michael Mayer. We've got Theo Johnson, Cole Kmet, Michael Trigg. Like, here's the deal: I just need one of these 6 to go get 8 to 10 points every week, just one of them, and I'm fine. If I could just fill 8 to 10 points in my tight end spot in the start 11, I feel fucking fantastic. And I think between 6 backup tight ends, I can get that. Like, I can get that. I don't have to start these guys. If I had to put these guys in, this is not the lineup league I would have built. I would have grabbed a tight end somewhere along the way. But
I love this.
Man, it's interesting. So only 127 first was traded in this draft so far.
And
of course, you know, if there is, I would have found a way to obtain it. But no one's trading, dude. No one's trading these picks, Smitty. They're so valuable right now.
Yeah, I mean, when a market feels that way, it's lovely moment to sell. I mean, dude, honestly, if you walk out of if you walk out of this with like a middling team, Not saying that you are. I think you're definitely a top 6 for sure. But if you were to have walked out of here with a middling team and just a couple of firsts, you could turn that thing around before kickoff. Not saying you should, but I'm just saying you could because of how they're valued. So I love this. I love that team.
So the way these rosters are built, I'm absolutely going to be a top contender in this team. The 2027 first I got. Now, Zenmara, I know you are listening. Sir, I
Shout
have
out.
your first. On paper right now, it's looking like a top 3 pick.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry, Zamara.
specifically because of the way I traded with him, I forced him to not have starters until round 10 through 14, like pivotal starters.
Holy
Now,
shit.
I know you're listening to Zamara, and I know how active you are on the trade wire. I know the positions. You have 5 QBs on your team right now. I know one of those QBs is going to get traded to add players in there, and it's no longer going to be a top 3 pick. I know that. But on paper right now, it looks good.
Oh,
But
he's
before we get into
QB
some of these
hoarding.
other before we get a couple of these other conversations, I want to talk to you about these 27 first still. So the sickness in me, Smitty, the sickness in me says these picks are valued so high right now. I want to go sell them and build into my contention this year.
Yes.
But it also breaks down a lot of my philosophy of having the liquidity midseason to fix things. So I'm torn right now on what I want to do because we were talking about this to Jettas. Like these 2027 first can get you a god. They can get you you could take wide receiver 10 through 15 and get wide receiver 3 or 4. I kind of want to do that, but it breaks a lot of my philosophies because we're at such a unique pricing of first round draft picks that I've never seen before.
To be honest with you, I am gonna do that just because I feel like, I mean, so with the goal being like getting a top 3 receiver, I feel like that's only gonna get tougher. I really do. Just especially like during the season when the top 3 are doing top 3 things, and even with the hype of and even during the college season when the hype of the class is getting even hyper, I just think it's still very tough to get a top 3. So I feel like now is the time to pull the trigger. But frankly, if you do miss out, there's always injury and bye weeks during the season, But I feel like this is the easiest time right now. I do.
And
I
I
don't
always
mean to be
peg
like the
my
devil
first
on your
round.
shoulder.
No, it's all good. I always peg my first rounds when I trade them. Like I know when I'm going to get when I've got a really good manager that manages squads well. I know I'm probably going to get a playoff pick. But if it's kind of 50-50, I always think it's the 106 to 108 in every trade. Like that's just my theory.
Hmm.
Because usually in Dynasty, I think 101 and 102 are fighting all year. Like they're stripping their teams down so bad. Like it's impossible. The team that doesn't have their first, man, they're on straight spite, dude. Like they will not let someone have the 101. They do not care. They will continue to fight because they don't care if they have the 201 or the 206. Like they're not tanking for the 201, dude. Like they're just not. But I think there's a lot of things you can do with these picks right now, just knowing how hard they are to get. I think there's got to be the reverse angle of that where they're easier to give away for a better player.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna think of some things, come up with some trades on there. All right, you want to do some hot takes here, Smay? This one's interesting. So you want some 2026 rookie class hot takes
Yeah, I
from
just
number
figured.
3 down to number 1, with number 1 being your hottest.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
just figured
Smitty,
that
let's
we've
go.
spoke on these rookies so much during the offseason. We finally have landing spots. So now that we got what we got, now that we have an idea of what's up with this class, let's just have some fun, throw out some stuff. Now, look, these are hot takes. We do, in a way, believe these, but we also understand the ridiculousness potentially. So I just thought we'd have fun. Fun way to end this pod. Damn, this has been a
Okay,
banger.
let's go with you, man. Number 3.
All right, so number 3. Let me actually make sure I got the ranking right. Oh yeah. So number 3, I spoke on this in the last pod. So I just wanted to speak on it again because I feel really good about this. Darian Price, right? Everyone is penciling him as the 106 in most Superflex rookies drafts because he is going to a spot that seems to have nobody there, and on paper, kind of is no one there. Look, I understand that the Raiders now have Clint Kubiak as the head coach, so he is no longer getting involved in anything the Seahawks are doing. However, I cannot shake the fact that the Seahawks last year, when Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet were both healthy, they were low-key unusable. Either one of them was low-key unusable, and you had to have got lucky to get the better game from the two. So, with that being the case, I am afraid that Jadarian Price and Emmanuel Wilson will split the backfield the exact same way that Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet did last year in Seattle. I just cannot shake it because I had both of them in way too many leagues to really be affected by this and to barely get the proper game from the proper players. So I know there's a lot of Jadarian Price lovers. I was walking into the draft, and now that I see the situation, and I also really, really did like Emmanuel Wilson to where I think they will split. And it's gonna suck if it happens, and I'm afraid that it will.
So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Top part of the season, I'm not planning on Charbonnet being fully healthy or playing. So let's say from week 6, 7-ish, right in there. Charbonnet's back. He's got some time to get healthy, and he's actually back. Who scores more points in that backfield from that point on the next, let's say, season? So let's say half of this season and half of next season. Who scores more points between Price and Sharps?
Well, I'm gonna say Sharps because what I guess was sort of predictive was, or what was flat out predictive was Charbonnet was ultimately the goal line back when he was healthy. That is going to be a problem if that's the case again. Because I think Jadarian Price, honestly, if he was a goal line back, I think he'd be great. I think he'd be great at that if that was his role. I mean, like if that was his role. So I'm gonna say Sharps just because he understands the thing better. He understands the game better. He understands the NFL better. He understands the team, and he knows what to do in the goal line. And one more thing, his division. His division is annoying, and I'm saying that as a Rams fan. He's in a very annoying division. So yeah.
So if you had Price right now on your squad, would you tear down for Sharps then?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I would. I mean, honestly, there's a million different tear downs I would do if I have Price. Frankly, I don't have a single Price here, and I'm not done with all my rookie drafts. And I'm not saying that I've avoided him. It's just, frankly, you guys love him so much, and so just as a hot take, I want to say I don't think you guys are. I think you guys are a little too excited for Price. That's just all I want to do here. But I feel like once Charbonnet's back, then this thing I'm worried about with him and Emmanuel Wilson will for sure be an issue with Price and Sharps.
So all the teams I have Price on at this point,
Oh,
it literally is because I just needed a running back. And in this draft, nothing mattered to me. Like needs mattered to me in this rookie draft class more than my player takes ever meant, because I don't have a good player take as any of these being a stud. And I look at this, I'm like, yeah, Price can fit. So I'm probably not going to trade Price just for the price I got him. But man, it makes me not want to deal with this backfield. Your last two pods, bro, you're killing me on these on this backfield. But it's just the NFL, isn't it now, Smitty? Like this is just every backfield.
I mean, that's true. There was even an article that came out this month saying that Corum and Kyron Williams are going to split the backfield 50-50. And I mean, that can be a little annoying for 204 shares, but you're right. This is the landscape. This really, and I'm just telling you, the teams that did the most annoyingly are the team that did the most annoying was Seattle. So I'm just worried and frankly scared. I'm a little scared. However, I am excited for Wilson. Maybe that's the point.
I did completely miss that point. Yes. Put that boy in your squad then, especially in best ball for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, man, I don't know about this backfield, man.
It's a hot take.
Now
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
But I will say, you mentioned Kyron Williams. You might want to go buy him right now, because if they do 50-50 work, I'm totally cool with that. There is one thing that Sean McVay trusts more than anything: death, taxes, and Kyron Williams getting a goal line touchdown. Like, I mean, he's one of the best goal line backs in the league. They're going to keep that role for him. So even if, he's 50%, but 80% goal line, like I'm in. Like that's a great price. And if Stas stays healthy, I mean, that offense, I don't see it doing anything other than it did last year. I really don't. And they got all the tight ends to block now. All right. I think there's some people that will not like this take.
All right. I might be nervous myself. Let's hear it.
Player take on Tyler Shuck, who is not a rookie, since he's
Oh,
a rookie player takes. But I don't believe Tyler Shuck is going to take a step forward this year. And I don't believe he's going to be able to support his cast around him this year. And I don't think Taysom is going to have the year that we all want him to have. Um, look at if you average, I I think if we look at rookie wide receivers and we say on a points per game basis, uh, rookie wide receivers, if they average 10 and a half points per game, what would that do to you, Smitty? Would that get you excited, or would that you'd
no.
be like,
No, honestly, I would much rather have the vet. Like not even. It wouldn't even be a question to me. I'd much rather have the vet, like the Juwan Jennings, who can get 13 regularly when healthy.
yep, 10 and a half points for a rookie wide receiver on a point per game basis is actually statistically amazing for rookies.
Oh,
But I
what?
don't know if he,
What? I didn't mean
it
to yell on
is.
that, but wow, that actually
It
pissed
is.
me off. Oh,
It
shit.
is. Most people don't do what Puka, Chase, and Jettas did in the rookie year, and that's why these players are priced to where they're at. But I don't think Shuck's going to take a step forward. I also think they're going to run the ball more. They signed Travis for a reason. They still got Kamara, but this is kind of like a CJ Stroud take I had after his rookie year, and there's a couple. I'm going to have another one in here as well. But I just don't think Shuck can support all these weapons. And I still think the majority of, if Chris Olave stays healthy, like he's going to dominate a 30% share of that target. He is. They drafted a new tight end. They still have Juwan Jennings. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see him being. Tyler Shuck is still, he's not a first round quarterback. Like, and I get that. There's plenty of non first round quarterbacks, but he's not elite. And he had a decent end to his rookie season. And we all assume, oh my God, he's the greatest quarterback ever. It's skyrocketing.
Yeah, you got me with that one because I was very, very in on the Tyson. Dude, I basically was like in spirit one of the people at his workout. Like I just was so happy that he was even up and jumping. I don't know if you guys are into what 32 beat writers did do, but they did come out this morning and say, "Hey guys, remember that the injury concerns with Tyson? Still ramping up, guys. He's still ramping up, even in this little rookie mini camp that's going on." So, I think you smoked it, Brian. I think you got it. That was a good one. That was a painful one.
I'm trying
Um,
to avoid the offense. I might take, I do, I love Travis. Like, I've got him
yeah.
everywhere because where I bought him going into last season. But it'll be interesting. All right, what do you got for number two?
Number two, I because I've already did this Jadarian Price take, I thought I can get even spicier, just like absolutely nutty wild. Doesn't entirely make sense unless you can tell the story properly. And the story I told myself was okay, even though Stephon Diggs is now cleared legally to not even be a concern legally with these other teams during free agency, I feel like he's as good as gone. I really do. So if this is the biggest stipulation, if Stephon Diggs is not going to be a Patriot, then I can see a world where Eli Raridan is going to be the second tight end in this class, or he's going to get the second most targets in this class. It might be the second most fantasy relevant tight end just because he's on the Patriots, and Diggs and him kind of play a similar role. I know there's Dobbs there too, so Dobbs might really get most of that. And then also Hunter Henry, a little bit disappointing last season, but he'll still be there. So that's the difficulty with Eli Raridan. And then also Eli has his own injury concerns too. So there's a lot going against this take. But I have no idea, and frankly don't care who the tight end one from this class is, whether it's Stowers or Sadiq. It'll be one of them for sure. But I do see, I have told myself a story that Eli Raridan could truly be the second most productive tight end. Now, is that worth anything? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. But I can see it. That's all I'm saying.
I can get sold on this. I think you're selling me on this one. So here's our tight end depth. We got Hunter Henry. We got your boy Eli. And I don't know any of these other three tight ends.
See, that's freaking it, right? Like that's oh. And you don't understand. I was almost heavily invested in Hunter Henry last season, and I didn't really see much return from him, dude. Like I really didn't. And I understand how important he is to May. It's just, look, if Diggs is gone, Raritan might show up. And if that's the case, I feel good about him. That's it.
Bro, you are selling me on that, sir.
I hope. Look, I hope I can see it, but we'll see.
All right, give me a second. I just got to make sure everything's going well. I just got tagged into this draft. Nope. Everything looks pretty good.
All
All
right.
right. So, what do I want my second player take to
Honestly,
be?
it doesn't even have to be rookies. It could just be any hot take for the season you got. I think we should do this again closer to the season too. This is fun.
No, I think my real I
Ooh.
don't think this is an outlandish outtake.
Uh-oh.
I think you're going to have a lot of roster cloggers on your roster in this draft class. Like, I think you're going to regret every second round pick you couldn't move for a previous year. Like, I think you're going to regret that. You're going to look down and be like, when am I starting this receiver? When am I getting Denzel Boston in my lineup? When am I getting KC Concepcion in my lineup? Like, I don't think this draft class is helping anyone outside of the 104. Like, I really don't. And even if we look at Fernando Mendoza, I think you're going to regret drafting Fernando. Like, I know he's got some rushing upside. Like, I get that. But look at the world of QBs we're living in. Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing a startup draft right now, Smitty, like, this is my point on Josh Allen. It's just like there's so many competent QBs in the league now. Like, this isn't a 3, 4, 5 years ago where there was like really 15 you wanted. Like, I'm almost cool with QB 25, 22, 24. Give me some spike weeks, have some bad weeks, like it's fine. But I just think people are really going to regret this class. And I don't think there's an elite wide receiver one in the class. You know, we talked about last pod. If it's anybody, I think it's Tate. Like I do, just because I think he's got the chance to be wide receiver one. But I just don't think there's a lot of generational talent out of this draft class. And I think it's going to be disappointing, minus the surprises we'll have in the tight end position. There's going to be some surprises, Smitty. And that's why I am kind of, you kind of sold me on
Oh,
the
Mr. Raritan.
opportunity for the tight ends. And you know, we look at the other tight ends here. So forgive me, I got to remember everybody's name here.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we look at this, you know, the tight end for oh my gosh, my brain is just not serving me right. Andrews.
Yes.
So Cincinnati. All right. He's got a chance to get on the field, just like you said with New England. Good QB. Like, there's going to be some surprises in tight end. So I'll kind of put those together in my two, but you're up, man.
Okay. This is my spiciest one. And, you know, I got to be honest. For this one, I'm wearing the wrong jersey. I'm wearing the wrong jersey because with this one right here, I'm actually selling myself on it more and more each and every day, right? So, in the 7th round, the Los Angeles Rams draft CJ Daniels. He was like the wide receiver 3, maybe even 4 for the Miami Hurricanes, who were pretty great. Like they had a pretty good season. Obviously didn't win, but I'm looking at the wide receiver 3s, right? We have Konata Mumfield, who I finally am saying his name correctly. Konata Mumfield. We have Jordan Whittington. We have this CJ Daniels guy. I honest to God think in a similar way where Konata Mumfield became like a guy in the playoffs that Stafford actually targeted and threw to, which was a mistake. But in like that similar, like up into the playoffs next year, I do think CJ Daniels will cement himself as a wide receiver 3, which I understand is still very messy for fantasy, so not really worth it at that point. But if Adams is gone, like anytime soon, whether that be next year, the year after, whenever he's gone, I can see CJ Daniels being the wide receiver 2 for the Rams if it isn't a veteran, because I think this guy plays almost exactly like Adams. Like I think he just does so many Adams stuff to where the Rams drafted Konata Mumfield to be that Adams guy, and frankly, it didn't work out. So I think CJ Daniels will have a chance to play that role and see if he can do it. And I'm just saying, I think he can. So I feel good about CJ Daniels. Get him off the way. Well, I honestly don't even think he will clog your roster for 2026. That's for sure. But you know, if you can throw a third at him in 2027, I wouldn't mind that. That's all I'm saying. I feel really decent about him cracking the lineup.
If you're anything in this world, Smitty, you are consistent. The hit the waiver wires, draft an LA Rams wide receiver 3, 4, 5 rookie is your number one goal in life. It is the Puka scenario. It's the Puka scenario. Just
yes, it
draft a wide
100%
receiver
is.
McVay drafts, and you know what? Maybe you drop him in week 3. Maybe it's Puka. I love it.
Dude,
do
I have
love
yet
it.
to
I
drop
don't know a
my
lot
Jordan
about the kid.
Whittington fans. I mean, yeah, I don't even myself, to be honest. But I
Humphreys. I mean, it just keep going down the line of people you were putting on here, dude.
like I'm like now in the point where because like you said, I've done this every year. I draft all of them. I'm now. It's like in 2026. I'm like, okay, should I finally start dropping my Whittingtons? And I mean, honestly, 2 years ago the answer was yes. 3 years ago the answer was yes. So yeah, we'll see. Honestly, Puka is a one of one. I can't expect all these guys to be Puka, frankly, but I am seeing it with Daniels just off of the little I know about him. That's definitely my
I
hottest.
I'm gonna go watch some video after this podcast, and maybe I'm gonna need to send out some trades. I don't know if I'd give up a third next year, but
Oh, a fourth
we'll
for
see.
sure.
But I love your support. I do. All right, man. You ready for my number one hot take? This one's gonna break my heart.
Uh-oh. God, I'm scared. I'm scared.
And don't get me wrong, I'm very process orientated, and I have a very high number of shares of this individual,
Oh.
Kenyon Sadiq. Within the next 24 months, he will be ranked as tight end 3 or lower of this class. And I am not going to plant my flag and tell you who number 1 and 2 are, because I think they are going. I mean, obviously, people could pencil Stowers in there, but the reality is, I think there'll be some surprises. And I don't think Kenyon Sadiq is. We're drafting him because of his production at a combine and his athletic ability.
100%.
When does that ever work? Like, when does that ever work? Like, legitimately, Kyle Pitts had production better than him when we drafted that. We go back to the Anthony Richardsons. Like, we're like the combine, I don't even think needs to exist anymore, to be honest with you. The way AI can break down film and everything, what the fuck do you need a combine for? But I will tell you this. Who was the starting tight end for the Oregon Ducks in 2024 that took the shares away from him? Who
It
was that?
Terrence
Smitty?
Ferguson. It was Terrence Ferguson.
How did he transition to the NFL so far?
Bro, and let me also tell you this about Terrence Ferguson. He was also much like Sadiq, but not as flashy. He was the most athletic guy in the combine that year. So I was proud of the Rams for getting him. But frankly, he's getting his lunch eaten by freaking Higbee and Parkinson and the whole crew. So you're right. It's really a goofy bet.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to happen, and it's going to break my heart because, look at, I think just to back up my argument, we've been talking about this for 6, 7, 8 weeks, is this was not a good draft class coming in. Mm-hmm. And draft capital, when we're drafting these players, we just kind of have to forget about. Like, you know, Tate. I get Tate. We love Tate. We were very pro him, wide receiver 1. But the reality is, I don't think we should pencil him in as a traditional 104. You know, 104 was Jamar Chase's, like Larry Fitzgerald's. Like, if this was a decent draft class or a very good draft class, why, you know, Tate probably goes wide, you know, 17th pick, 16th pick. Like, Kenyon Sadiq goes much later. This was just a fuck, dude. We don't win this draft we want. Let's just draft this elite talent and see what happens. So it's going to break my heart, but I do think there's going to be some surprises in here. And rockets up for Eli, dude. I'm gonna try to get him in a trade.
See. We'll see. I mean, yeah, to be honest, I don't have a single Eli Raridon share yet. And I don't have a Sadiq share because, like you've been saying, he's been too difficult to get. Like, even when I have the opportunity to draft him, back of my head, as much as I love the kid, I can't do it. I haven't been able to. And he's freaking hard as hell to trade for, too. So, man, I think that was a good one. Makes me feel better about not having him, but I do feel a little FOMO.
Let's talk about one more thing before we end, Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
Colston Loveland.
Oh, God, shout out.
I have a lot of shares of Colston Loveland. What is Colston Loveland going to turn into?
I think he's gonna. gonna just build on what he did last year.
But what does that turn him into? Does it turn him into Trey McBride? Trey
Oh,
McBride had a horrible rookie season. Does it turn him into that? Does it turn
nah,
him into Brock Bowers?
nah. I can't. I don't think
Does it
so.
turn him into George Kittle in his prime?
Oh, no, no, that's a little too much.
I think there's a lot of really good tight ends in the league. And I think when we're thinking about this top 5 tight ends that we've got penciled in right now, 1A, 1B, McBride, Bowers, Warren, Loveland, who do you want to put in the 5? Actually, let's see. I got to keep Trey
I
cut up.
mean,
Let's see what keep
oh
Trey.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna just throw out Kittle, even though he's injured. I'm gonna just throw him out. I mean, I might even throw Laporta too. I'm
Actually,
not.
dude, here's the top 10. This one's quite interesting. I keep Trey cut. We got Bowers, McBride, Loveland at 3,
Oh,
Warren, Fannin, Tucker Craft at 6, Laporta at 7, Pitts at 8, Sadiq at 9, Gadsden at 10, Stowers at 11, and likely at 12. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just honestly happy
Oh,
he's top 5. I mean, top 12. I am.
my boy just entered the top 12 finally. Woo!
Good for him,
That
dude.
makes me so that makes me so happy. But all right, so here's the thing. So I look at Loveland. There's a lot of good tight ends. He is priced very fucking high. Is this the time to pivot?
This is the only. I mean, honestly, after all you said, that screams yes. And here, just additionally, this would be a thing with me. I am predicting a serious bounce back for Loveland. I mean, for Odunze. I see an Amon-Ra level of transformation for Mr. Burden here. I get the point I'm trying to make is that I think it's a little too crowded. It's getting a little too crowded. Plus, they drafted a guy, which obviously won't get in the way, really. But yeah, I do just to see what you can get. Tight end 3 on keep trade cut. Jesus,
All right, so
I will
we're gonna keep.
definitely trade him into the top 2 if you can, or a top 2 in a different position. Like, yeah, I love that idea.
All right, so keep trade cuts open. I'm only talking about really high end tight end premiums here, so I'm talking 0.75, 1 point tight ends.
Star 2 and all that.
If it's a
Yeah,
0.75, I'm doing this at 2 tight ends starting. If it's a 1 point premium, multiple flex options to start them. So if I go Loveland in here, I'm just curious what they say is fair value. So
oh my
they're
god,
saying
the fucking 101. I'm sorry, that took me by surprise.
it's the format I put in here. So like
Oh,
if I
God.
change this to a little less tight end, there's no way they're doing that. Yeah,
Close.
so we're now in 2027 early. But I play in
Land
these
trade.
leagues, man. Like talking about Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, 101, and Caleb Williams. Like whether or not we feel that's fair value, just looking at the names of players, it's fair value on how they're ranking them from a point standpoint of their value to your roster on Keep Trade Cut.
Mhm.
So for me, like you could sell him as a cornerstone of somebody's franchise right now. I'm willing to bet you the top 5 and 6 shake the F up. This time next year, it's going to look way different. And maybe Colson Loveland is number 1 on there. Maybe he's number 8 on there. I don't know. He's got 2 other tight ends to deal with now. I forget the kid they Roche, I think they drafted.
Yes,
He's
they got
gonna
a Roche
get
guy.
targets.
You know, honestly, when I was trying to make up that when I was trying to get into that Eli Raridan, I was like, oh, is there a path for Roche? But I don't know. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Dude, that's so
unfortunately, he's been too expensive for me to acquire. But if I had any Loveland shares, I would absolutely turn that. I actually have one. First, dude, I mean, I understand that Kraft is injured right now, but the plus you can get for Kraft. Okay, I'm saying like Loveland for Kraft plus something. Kraft and Kincaid, oh my god. Yeah, sign me up.
rip 2 tight ends off somebody.
Kyler freaking Murray, oh, absolute, bro. I'm sorry, my Loveland shares are gone by tonight. By tonight.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like it's all about values for these people. And we know it, Smitty. We talk about this all the time. how many players are going to disappoint owners this year? It's more than actually make people happy.
It's so true. That's so true.
It's set up perfectly for Loveland. It's set up for him to take the ascent to a god as well. But if I could sell him a tight end 103 right now, all right, we're going to end on this question. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have Loveland or Warren as your tight end?
Okay. I would rather have Loveland. I would. Literally just because while Daniel Jones is injured, I have zero idea what that quarterback situation is going to look like and how they'll utilize him. Now, honestly, Warren should be the best friend of whoever that quarterback is going to be, so it should still float, but I'm worried that it won't.
So strictly quarterback.
Yes. Literally just that.
I want whatever I can get a plus on the other side, but I am not ready to say that I would take Colson Loveland over Warren, dude. Like I love that man. I love them both. I mean, I've got shares of all of them, but it's interesting. I do think we should pivot off of him. I really do. You know, if our listeners listen to me when I told them to trade CJ Stroud when he was literally the 103 in startup drafts after his rookie year, their team would look a lot better right now. This is just one of those moments where someone rises too much.
Dude, that was a good one.
Too many good tight ends in the league, dude.
I love this.
All right, man, anything else you want to say to our listeners?
No, I'm just, hey, look, if you ever need any advice, just type our name in and we'll be there, bro. Thank you so much for that banger of an ending.
Cheers, guys. Hope you all like the intro video, man. I worked hard on that for the last week. God love AI and Claude. Cheers.
Shout out.
Step into the spotlight, it's the Dynasty team. Brian B. Money making all the dreams gleam. Carl Smitty Smith, watch him rise in the scene. Together they ignite, it's the ultimate scheme. Hold on tight, feel the hype, we're just getting started. Dynasty's BBS show, we're climbing to the peak. B Money and Smitty, every episode unique. Confidence high, yeah, we never stay weak. Tune in with us, learn the craft and technique.